Hi, this is James Page for Sat TV. I'm here at Satellite 2025 in Washington, and I'm over with Ovzon. Ovzon provide fast and resilient satellite communications in dynamic operational environments, and I'm really pleased to say that I'm managing to speak to the CEO, Per Noren, and also to COO Tom Hopkins. We're going to talk in a moment, Tom, about some of the products and some of the technology and some exciting things that are happening with you guys at the moment. But I'm going to turn to you first, Per, and we're going to get you to tell us a little bit about the exciting 2024 that you've just had.
I would be happy to. 24 was extremely exciting for us. We started off the year with a launch of our first satellite, Ovzon 3, first Swedish privately funded satellite that is now in geostationary orbit. And then through the year, we reached orbital position. With the satellite, we went into service in July. We had our first customer on it for the Summer Olympics in Paris. And then a couple of more customers joined us on the satellite, and they've been delighted with the performance. And we ended the year very strongly financially as well. So we came out of 24 running. So it's been a very exciting year for us.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. We'll come back to you in a bit for where we're going next. But Tom, perhaps you can talk to us a bit about some of the solutions and some of the technology that you offer.
Sure. So from a top level, everything we do as a company and everything that we do with our architecture is designed against three characteristics. So that they have always been performance, mobility, and resiliency. So performance is really just how much data you can get into a very small terminal, which is the mobility piece of this. And the third characteristic is resiliency. And what we found in the last few years is the idea of resiliency has become much more important to some of our customers than either high data rates or small terminals. Fortunately, we can do all three very well. So the idea is we can continue to operate in what we call a contested environment. So when GPS is jammed, when you're in a electronic warfare environment, we've kind of proven our credentials over the last 3 years or so to be very successful in that environment, all driven by the technology.
And that's the resilience is really important, particularly in certain geographies and parts of the world. And there's been some recent work that you've been doing in the high north on an expedition that might be worth giving us a little hint on.
Yeah, sure. So the new satellite that Per mentioned, Ovzon 3, is really distinguished by two characteristics. One is very, very powerful spot beams in geosynchronous orbit, and the idea that we have an onboard processor. And the onboard processor is essentially a mesh network in space. That allows you to be completely independent of a terrestrial infrastructure. So if your teleport is unavailable, whether it's due to weather or due to adversary actions, we have completely autonomous operations without a teleport. In recent months, we've understood that the Arctic is increasingly important to Europe and to many other countries around the world, NATO and others. And we've had some success as a Swedish company operating 140 kilometers or so inside the Arctic Circle. We decided we'd challenge ourselves to see how far we could push that envelope. And we started last week from a town called Kiruna in northern Sweden, and did an overland expedition for some 10 hours or so, stopping at every degree of latitude to test our terminals and the satellite to see how they would perform really at the edge of coverage of the Earth. So we have the climatic conditions in the Arctic, which are very challenging. You have the curvature of the Earth that's challenging. I'm happy to say that our system performed flawlessly throughout the entire experience. So we ended up in a place called Nordkapp, the northern Cape of Norway, in a beautiful setting, and demonstrated voice, video, and data performance just as we would if we were sitting on the equator.
Well, congratulations. It's a fantastic demonstration of exactly the solutions and the technology that you were talking about. So that's a great way to be going into 2025 as we come running out of 2024. What else is there to look forward to this year, Per?
Well, we're running faster, first of all. Now, but what Tom says is this is all about, there are four things for us that are important. Customers first. So our focus is in 25 to deliver value with our technology to customers. Number two is people always, as I say. So we have phenomenal people and partners we work with to continue to foster them and develop them and our organization. And number three is obviously business ubiquitously. We're a very specialized company. We're a niche company. We're here to deliver integrated satellite communication solutions. So it's not one-off. We are not only hardware or satellite. We're all of it at one. So we take full responsibility for high level of service degree. And compared to other solutions, I don't think you can find anything. And that's why we're challenging ourselves with going to places and testing things that others cannot do that we can do. So for 2025, I think the big thing for us, we now have a commercially proven and technologically proven satellite and additional technology like the onboard processor. We're looking at how many more satellites should we now invest in and build and launch into space. We're looking at smaller antennas for what we call the terminals to put on both manned and unmanned vehicles. And the smaller they can be, keeping the power and the performance, mobility, resiliency, the better we can serve, I think, the applications that are now evidence that we need to serve the unmanned more and more. And thirdly, also looking at how we build and scale the company with a global service delivery model that helps us help customers everywhere around the world, especially in these times where I think what we do actually matters.
I would agree entirely, and I think you've demonstrated the passion for that in the conversation that we've had, and we very much thank you for taking the time to talk to Sat TV, and I think everybody should keep an eye out on Ovzon for the rest of the year. Thank you both for having a conversation with us today.
Thank you, James. Yeah, thank you.